Goldboys Live, presented by Pickett Sports, Sleeper Picks, breaking down the carding MLB. We'll get to some NFL. But boys, Josh, Brian, Brad, I guess we'll just start Major League Baseball best bets. We only have one game going on now. It is Braves Twins. We have Nationals Mariners starting in a couple hours, and then all the games are at night. Why they do this, I have no idea. But Brian, I guess we'll start with you. Best bet today, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, so if you watched earlier, me and Nick did a show. I did take Aaron Nola 5 strikeouts and the Phillies to win, but I'm going to gear away from that and talk about a different bet for this show. And I think it's one that Josh would like, because I think we talked about before. I am backing the Texas Rangers to score 5 runs today and win the game. It is Joey Wentz, a lefty on the mound, who did face off against the Rangers earlier this year. He went 4 1/3, but he also only allowed 1 run. I think the Rangers are going to figure it out the second time through. Last 30 days, Rangers are hitting 300 against lefties. And one of the things I think I found interesting is he just played twice, Wentz that is, against the Twins. And the second time he saw that lineup, they figured him out a little bit better. He walked 4 batters, but he did kind of skate away with only 3 or 4 runs, which with that much base runners is kind of fortunate. Against the Rangers, if you're walking guys, if you're allowing contact, you're allowing them to figure it out early, I think it could be a really rough start for him, especially because the Tigers did have Boyd go down with an injury on Monday. Their bullpen is really depleted. So if they're asking for Joey Wentz to be stretched out against this Rangers team, it could be a high-scoring one for Texas.
Yep. I mean, I'll just go into mine because I kind of have 2. I was also going to fade Joey Wentz. Under 4.5 breakouts. Go ahead and get there. Like, just any way you can get ahead of him not getting.
What's the juice on that under 4.5 strikeouts?
It was minus 115 on DK.
It still is.
Yeah, still is.
I mean, he's gonna get hit around. Like the only
is he gonna make it 5 innings? I mean, he's only eclipsed 4 innings, I think, like twice now in his last 6 starts. So he's definitely fadeable when you've got him going up against the Rangers. But I'm also want to take this opportunity to talk about the Oakland A's and say JP Sears and get him at over 5.5 Ks in this one. I also like the idea of just continuing to fade the Yanks. They strike out a ton against lefties, even though they have so many righties in their lineup. Top 10, well, I guess however you want to look at it, bottom 10 in terms of K rate against left-handed pitching, about 24%. And Sears has actually gotten this number a couple of times now. I just wrote this down. Where did I put it? Right here. In terms of how often he's been getting these, the 6 Ks, 7 inning pitched, at least in his last 2 starts, 6 Ks in 3 of his last 4 as well. And those were also against some heavy right-handed lineups. So I love the ability to get an Oakland A's bet in here and actually ride with them. But it's even money right now at DraftKings for him to get 6.
I like that. You know what's funny about the Yankees? They had the Yankees team total over 1.5 in the 6th inning. I was like, wow, is this not big? It was minus 145. They got absolutely destroyed. I don't have a MLB play, but I will give a soccer play just so I can contribute to the best bet. It's Switzerland U21 versus France U21. I'm going with both teams to score. This is depending on your juice tolerance, but I know some of you guys don't play juicy things. It's minus 160, but it's all about the value in there. Switzerland has seen both teams to score in each of their last 7 matches. France has seen both teams to score in 5 of their last 7, but Switzerland's at home. They need to most likely get a win to be in. France just needs a point. France has just seen 1 clean sheet in their last 7, and more importantly, France has scored in something like 26 of their last 27 matches. So that's both teams to score in Euro 2020, Switzerland U21 versus France 21. U21, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback your under 4.5. I just bet that myself. As far as my best bet, I'm just gonna make sure it's still available. It was Yankees team total under 4.5, and the juice was reasonable. I mean, this team without Judge, I mean, really, this team was built around Judge and Stanton, and Judge is out. Stanton might as well be out. Stanton is hitting 184 with like a 244 on base, a 621 OPS. He basically has like pitcher's numbers. It's ridiculous how bad this Yankee lineup is. So I'm checking right now, 4.5. Juiced a little more. Now it's minus 143 at Bet Rivers. Let's see if there's a better price at DraftKings. But either way, I'm going to go under 4.5 Yankees team total here.
I like it.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing here.
If anyone is with me and being stupid and bet the over in this live Braves game, I had 7.5. Bucks just got thrown out at home, so I'm gonna be really sad for. Yeah, he was on third base, 1 out, grounder hit to third. He got caught. That's really sad.
Ground ball,
That's
one out.
bad.
Yeah, I mean, they probably
it-
just had contact play where he's running on contact. I mean, with one
Yeah,
out, you
so
gotta.
it's just
I
very
mean, I get it.
unfortunate. Very unfortunate to have a guy on third with one out and not get him home on that.
I didn't play it. That line seemed too high. 10.5. Mike is a pretty good pitcher.
I
know
took
the
7.5
just-
live.
Oh, you
That's
live.
what I did. Yeah, I went
Anyone else
7.5
have
plus
action in this
100.
game right now?
No, but how about Acuna during Acuna Gold Chain night? 2 home runs last night. Freaking crazy.
Some of these books let you parlay MVPs. I saw Ohtani and Acuna was like minus 140 or so for both of them to win MVP. Is that? I mean,
that's a good bet.
You got to worry about an injury, but that's about it, right? Or Ohtani somehow getting traded to the NL, which I don't think.
No, they're in the playoffs right now.
I agree.
What book is that? I like that.
Rivers let you do it, and FanDuel lets you do it.
Oh,
minus 159 now. Shohei was minus 670 at Bet Rivers this morning. I was like, that is. I mean, you got to tie up a lot of money. And it was minus 250 a couple weeks ago. Some of these books, it's not only what you bet, you got to know what's slow to move. Some of these books are just so slow to move. Like I know it's minus 670. It doesn't take a genius to give out minus 670, but like, come on, it's minus 1,500 at FanDuel. That's just a crazy price. I think it's moved here. Yeah, still though, minus 1,000 at Bet Rivers. Let's see what a parlay pays. And Acuna's down to minus 200. Was minus 190.
So that probably pays 165.
Minus
155 at Rivers.
I mean, last night he did so much. It sounds like just having that 2 runs and 10 strikeout game, like not like he needed to separate himself anymore, but like now it's kind of at the point where it's almost like inevitable,
barring an injury.
Yeah,
barring an injury, which would be bad. Anything else in the slate today? Anyone likes?
Really?
No, I gave out the 2 I liked so much. There's some I'm gonna look into more, but that's the 2 bets I already have locked in.
Brian, did you play full game or did you play team total? Full game or first 5 for Rangers?
I did over 4.5 full game and the win, so minus 120 DraftKings.
Thank you.
I know you love the Rangers in their 6 innings. You're a big fan of their explosive 6 innings.
It's so crazy. It drives me nuts. It's literally like every single game. I'm gonna catch them. It's gonna get down to like where we get Rangers like over 1.5 plus money against a really good pitcher, and they're gonna finally come through for me. I know it.
I do like under 4.5 Pirates Padres. Snell has been awesome.
Yeah,
I bet him 50 to 1 last week. I gave it out 50 to 1 to win Cy Young. He's been unhittable. Keller's been really good. Padres, believe it or not, you look at that lineup, it's like, man, they should score a ton of runs. They just something with that team. When they hit, they don't pitch. When they pitch, they don't hit. There's just a lot of dead weight in that team. So I'll go under 4.5 first 5 with Keller and Snell. Nobody else likes anything.
No, the other thing I wanted to find a way to play was the Orioles and Reds again. There weren't as many runs yesterday. It's 9.5. It's a lot for this game, but
Orioles
I think Luke Weaver's about to get shelled again, which he's been doing recently. As we continue to talk about that Reds pitching and how bad it is. So there might be something there. I think a guy you could also look at if you wanted to play a prop in that game would be Santander, who is going to be, now that you've got Cedric Mullins back in there, and then you've got Rutschman at the top as well. I never say his name right. That's where you start talking about RBI for him as well. You can get plus money for him to get over 2.5 hits, runs, RBI in that game. That's plus 115 on DraftKings. If you do like runs to be going on in that game, that's one guy that I would probably target. He's like absolutely on fire right now, and the conditions are perfect right now. There's no rain in the forecast, 80s, humid, all that. So I think there's gonna be some runs in that game.
I'm glad you said that, because that was the only other thing I was looking at was Orioles team total first 5. It's 2.5.
Oh, okay.
It's 2.5. It's minus 140, but I mean,
and you're talking about the over, just to be clear.
Yeah, the over. Yeah. The over, because Luke Weaver's been, he's been a trash can. Like I think I talked about it on the show earlier today, where if you take that over at minus 145 on DraftKings, I think it was this morning, and you pair it with Patrick Corbin to not record a win, it's at plus 112, and I was going to call it the trash can parlay because these guys have just been getting hit around so often. So I think that was something I was going to look into playing. I just wanted to see final lineups for the Mariners.
You mentioned Ohtani, 10 strikeouts last night, 2 homers, 11 to 1 to win Cy Young. Do you think he would get both awards? Do you think that's possible?
No, I think that like he's pitching good, but I just think his numbers are not number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah. That's the problem. Like he would be getting more Cy Young love based on the mixture of adding in his batting. And
I mean, it really depends on. They say that McClanahan's fine, but man, that guy was always just missing time. And then, I mean, I guess that's the only thing with Ohtani is for the Cy Young, he'd have to beat out Gausman, Valdez, McClanahan, even Garrett Cole is getting love now. I think there's just so many good pitchers in the AL. I think it's hard to kind of like MVP. He definitely wins, but I feel like Cy Young. I don't know if he's like the best pitcher if you take away everything else.
No, but I mean, you are getting 11-1. The thing I would be concerned about, there's the human element of the voters giving him both awards. I just don't know if there's going to be an appetite to give him both. I think he can get there, though. I mean, I think he can get there in terms of being justified. I'm gonna pull. Does anyone have their numbers in front of him? I could pull them up. What do you think, Josh?
No, I'm on the same boat, and I'm like kind of learning from what I've always followed the NBA MVP race super closely throughout the year, and that's something that like they poll the actual media. Even if they pulled, MLB media consistently throughout, like it changes. It can just change so abruptly. The Shohei to win both conversations going on right now because of what he did last night, right? Because he got 10 Ks and 2 homers in a game, and we never thought that was going to happen. But I'm not really on board with him winning both of them because of that. But I would have to hear something in the media at some point to have that change my mind. And I would just want to wait for that to happen before I'd be like, oh, this can be a thing.
I don't think he's going to win. And I don't know that I bet it. So I do want to put that out there. But man,
11-1 on DraftKings.
What is it?
11-1 on DraftKings for him to win Cy Young.
Yeah. I think the other thing that sucks so much is just talk about, you don't want to say it's all team success, but McClanahan already has 11 or 12 wins. I think that's just like, I don't know, like that just comes into play where I don't know how the Angels team is going to help him out too. Cause I know wins aren't everything for Cy Young, but it is a big factor. And he's already,
Ohtani has 7. I mean,
we're 7-3, right? I believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, the 2 games before last night, he pitched into the 7th inning. He quality starts, yada yada. I think he lost a 2-run, 2 runs that he gave up and 1 run that he gave up, and he got the loss.
Yeah, no, I'm a big believer that I think records are like a stupid part of the stats. But I'm just saying,
as the person who just brought up records.
No, I'm just saying. I don't believe in it, but I'm just saying that's also Cy Young has always been an award.
I don't think they do that anymore.
Not as much, but it's also just a matter.
DeGrom's won it. Felix Hernandez won it with like very few.
My boy Johan started this conversation and like whatever he won it in 13, 14, whatever.
Yeah, but if we're talking like right now, I think Strider's one. I mean, Strider. Someone just sent someone in the chat said Strider, and I misspoke, so that was my fault. But I think McClanahan's ERA is like 2.1 as well, or 2.2. It's just.
Yeah.
Let me just read Ohtani's numbers though for perspective. 95 innings, 95 and a third innings, 60 hits, 127 strikeouts. I mean, the numbers are there. I mean, he walks a few too many guys. That's not something where he can't close the gap just in terms of on merit, but I agree. I don't know that there's an appetite to give him both awards. What did they bring up with Strider in the chat?
They just said Strider for Cy Young and Al.
I don't hate that bet either. Plus 750 or something. I really don't hate that. Gowan did not pitch well last night. He strikes out a million guys. I think Strider's a good bet.
I also think it's one of those things where we talked about the 2 bad starts. When you were in September, those 2 bad starts are going to be such a blimp in the radar, like way back when. So I think everyone's buying low.
Yeah. Plus 850 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
I wonder if Kershaw's odds even increased because he had such a good outing last night. Got the W.
What was going on with that when he was telling the manager that he's done? Like he just didn't want to pitch past the 6th, like to save himself.
That's what I mean, he's always battling injuries. That's why I would never even think about betting Kershaw at like 3-4 to 1. He's just always battling back. Whatever. He's older. I don't know that I would back that. I think Strider's clearly the best bet at plus 750. I think that's actually bettable.
And to bring it up, I did bring it up. So best odds from what I'm seeing is 11-1 is what I think we brought up for Ohtani. McClanahan is a short favorite on FanDuel. He's almost like 2-1 now.
Not a good bet.
Oh, I know, and especially because, like I said, his whole thing is just he's 270. Gallon is plus 180. That's still I mean I know he's been great,
that number at all either. I love a no price on that. I love the like 250 on the no or whatever.
Yeah. So as of right now, I didn't even realize Gausman has 139 strikeouts. He killed it yesterday.
And lost.
Tough, right? Like I didn't watch that game at all. Then when Brian was like, I knew he was going to lead strikeouts, and I was
mentioned
like,
it, I didn't bet it.
I was like, oh, they're probably killing it, cruising right now, and I was like, oh my god, they're holding the L.
And that's why I can't back the freaking Blue Jays. I hate that offense. That offense pisses me off. I think there's nothing more in baseball that I hate than an explosive offenses, and you watch them and they have like one hit in the last like 3 games, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, how is this possible?
There are very few things in betting with like all the sports that are more frustrating than a baseball team that can't hit. When you're betting on a team that can't hit and you have them and it's just strike out, pop out, ground ball to short, inning after inning, it is so
brutal.
Just not only boring but just deflating. It feels so hopeless.
Yeah. I'll say this: I can mentally prepare myself if I'm backing a low number for a bad offense, but when it's like a good team, like say if you back the Rangers tonight and I'm just watching them and they're hitting like they have 1 hit after 4 innings, I'm just gonna get so frustrated to see like something like that happen. It's the good offenses that can't produce that really get to me.
Yeah.
Do you guys anything else on baseball? Or you want to get to football?
No, I think
Let's
that
get
was
some
good.
football.
All right, Josh assigned us with a task: pick a receiving prop that we like. So, Josh, I guess you can start off here. What do you got?
Devontae Adams going under. Actually, I'll just
that.
even shout out Sam. I forgot that he said it when I started looking at it, and then I started looking at it. I was like, oh, right. Sam brought it up, so I definitely got to give him his props for that. Under 1,300.5 on DraftKings. It's actually 100 yards less on FanDuel, so it's a better bet there. Continue to shop it around. There's a ton of books, obviously, but the 1,300 is a great number for Devontae. Jimmy Garoppolo is still coming back from the surgery that he had directly after signing for $70 million. And so I don't know how long is he going to be on the field? Brian Hoyer comes in as your backup. How long is he going to be on the field? Derek Carr was running for his life when he was out there. And then when he wasn't out there, they were actually had more mobile quarterbacks at time for a reason. So Devontae right now, when you look at him, obviously, like if Jimmy's in there and playing as well as he ever has, Devontae is as good a, yards after catch receiver as like Deebo Samuel, for instance. Maybe not as good, but I mean, the yardage that he's put up, over the last like 3 years is definitely top 3 in the league. So that is what he can do is catch the short ball that Jimmy throws. But like, how long is Jimmy going to be out there? It's not going to be for a full season. Brian Hoyer is the same noodle arm as him. How long is he going to be out there? Like I said, and still you're not going to get any sort of like, 50-yard deep balls that you were getting from Carr. So I just don't like it. And then the only other thing I would say too, for why I'm fading him is who they're playing and the projected, the projected defenses for all these teams, including Denver, where they kick it off. Then they play Buffalo. We're talking all the top 10 basically projected defenses right now. The Pats are in there. The Jets are in there. The Chiefs and the Chiefs twice, obviously. So like the Broncos have finished the season. Like there's a ton of really good passing defenses that they're playing. Like 8 of the teams that they're playing right here are in the top 10 to 12. So I would say that this is a pretty solid bet at 1,300, and that's actually mispriced in other places.
Yeah, and also, what's the over/under on Josh Jacobs' carries? Is it like 482? Like, it's gonna be a lot of carries to that guy.
I think his yardage was at like 1,100, so it actually dropped a bit from after leaving the league. But I don't like what's going on in Vegas there.
Who's up?
I like
Who wants
that.
to go?
I already kind of gave mine. So Brad, I have 2 though, so I'll cover the other one. Brad, you go.
I'm going with Keenan Allen under, I don't know, I just didn't have that pulled up, under, oh my God, 900 receiving yards. Listen, Keenan Allen.
God, I love this bet. I want to bet this so hard right now. I just want to bet everything on this. I love this.
That's Will's philosophy. When I was texting about the freaking first 5 under yesterday, I was like, it's still 0-0. You're like, it better stay that way. I took out a second mortgage for this.
I love this bet.
Yeah, he's 31-year-old receiver going into year 9 or year 10 in the NFL. Only played in 10 games last season. The injuries are it's becoming like more of a lingering injury.
He never fucking plays. We can sum it up like that. He never fucking plays.
Exactly. And then adding Quentin Johnson to the team, it's like he would have to play 16 games to hit this number. And do we think Keenan Allen's going to be the guy who's playing 16 games in his career at this point in his career? I don't think so. And I don't even think they necessarily want him to do that. I think they want him to be effective if they make a playoff run. I just thought that number was beautiful, under 900 and a half.
I think he got hurt just now.
Yeah, I think he got hurt hearing me say that. He's like, hurt? Oh yeah, my ankle's done.
I just got the alert from ESPN that he stubbed his toe. Also, Damian Lillard trade rumors are swirling.
No way. Damien wants to be traded, but he might not want to be traded.
Don't take the bait.
I don't know. That's why I promoted the show today. I'm tired. Did you guys get the ESPN alert that was about an alert about how annoying it is to get these alerts? Oh my goodness. No, I like that one.
We've reached that point of the conversation. If we are saying it though, like in a week from now, 2 weeks from now, it's gonna be a different conversation that we're having where there's gonna be like disgruntled Dame, and then it's gonna get nasty. I think at some point we'll see how it goes,
But yeah, I do have a friend that's a Chargers fan. He also, when I mentioned this from Sam yesterday, he likes it. Keenan Allen's his favorite player, but he said the exact same points Brad just brought up. But it's a health thing.
But everyone's riding with Herbert this year. Like, is there belief that he's still gonna? I mean, obviously he was still good without Keenan for most of his career so far, but
yeah, I think that Keenan Allen's kind of aged out, and he kind of grew, Herbert as a quarterback last year, threw for 3,500 plus yards. Now he's going to have Kellen Moore, calling the shots for him. Quentin Johnson is a good addition. They get Josh Palmer in another year. They still have the speedy dude, I forget his names. Then they have Mike Williams.
They need him to stay healthy.
Jalen Guyton. Like, they have plenty of weapons. He just doesn't have that security blanket. And then what also helps is when your running back is going to get 10 targets per game. That helps quarterbacks' longevity, especially in fantasy.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like that. I kind of already hinted at mine. I think on Monday I did take AJ Brown over 1,050.5. It's my first ever over. Don't really love it, but it's one of those things. I just think it's a bad line. And I kind of wanted to talk about. We talked about the strength of schedule for the Eagles is a little bit tougher. So he had 1,400 yards. He played all 17 games, which is not necessarily what he needs to do. But even in 13 games, it's 80 yards a game to get this number. And I think the Eagles' offense last year didn't pass as much late in games just because they're winning a lot on some of these lesser teams. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think they're going to throw more. But the one I brought up to Josh before the show that I wanted your opinion on, I didn't bet, but mostly a Will, because this is more of a Will.
Will's going to love this. I'm already telling you right now, Will is going to love this.
Speaking of guys that never play, Kadarius Toney's listed at 630. And he does not have 600 yards in his first 3 seasons.
Nice.
I know it's
Where's
the Chiefs
available
on DraftKings.
All right. Did he get traded middle last year? Or was that 2 years ago?
Middle last year.
Yeah. And I mean, he, like I said, he doesn't have 600 career yards, let alone in a season. The guy's explosive, but his hamstring was made of glass. Yeah. And I just don't see. Do you think it's point where he's gonna be that big of a part of the offense for the 3 games he's gonna play, where he's gonna rack up 300 yards a game?
No, there's a reason why you saw Sky Moore in so many different sets. It's gonna be Sky Moore offense. They end up getting the most underrated signing. I think they signed as a free agent, Justin Ross. Like when you grab Ross, like you grab this guy for a reason. Rashee Rice is gonna be there. Like they have plenty of guys. I don't think that I think Tony's just a nice thing that fantasy experts like to talk about.
Yeah. And also we talk about.
Worry me. It does sound a little low. And Andy Reid's offense, full year of Mahomes. But again, the injuries I could never, ever bet over. But it does scare me a little bit. It does sound a little low.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you made a good point. He doesn't have that many career yards. Now he's going to do it in 1 year.
We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games with the Chiefs. And only 2 of them he's gone for more than 20 yards.
I like it. It's a good pick.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things you talked about yesterday, how Jalen Hurts could get help with DeAndre Swift on those little swing passes. I also think Tony's another guy that he might get some of those pitches that are technically counted as rushing yards.
Yeah.
That's how he's used a lot as a gadget player last year. So I just feel like it's almost like they could set 100 yards. You still have a chance to win with a guy that just gets hurt as much as he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with an over. I am going to go with an over. I hate doing this, but this
I have an over as well. So go ahead.
I am going to go Quentin Johnson over 575.5 passing yards. I just loved him in college. I think Herbert, the new guy coming in here to run the offense, is going to stretch the field. They're going to throw it downfield. He is electric. Now, you always have to worry about the injuries, but I mean, as long as he plays 10, 12 games, I think he'll get plenty of snaps. Those other 2 guys, like we mentioned, Allen's always hurt. Williams is always hurt. To me, he's going to cruise by this number as long as he is relatively healthy. I just think this is so low. And again, as somebody who hates betting unders, but Quentin Johnson, I think, is going to be a star. I think it's a great pick. I will go over 575.5 yards, Quentin Johnson.
Quentin Johnson, too, who's going to be able to get you those tough yards because he has a massive catch radius, 6'4", 215 pounds. I like that pick a lot. he's going to be a sleeper in fantasy for anybody.
What's his rookie of the year? Let's check his rookie of the year. What do we think it is top of our heads here? It's hard to win it over quarterbacks. Like the year Justin Jefferson had a great year, he still didn't win it. It's hard to win as a receiver.
Damn, he didn't.
Although Wilson did win it last year, but last year was a weird year with no quarterbacks. Let's see what we got. 20-1 on DraftKings.
Rookie of the year has been a lot of wide receivers recently. Well, at least 3.
5-1 on FanDuel.
25-1. Good job. What other receivers? I'm drawing a blank on who else won it.
Odell, Jamar.
I mean, Odell's almost 10 years ago now, but yeah.
That feels like just recently, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's
Jamar.
great. It's scary. You're right,
Well,
Jamar. Remember Jamar? It was Mac Jones was like minus 500 most of the year. Then Jamar had like a crazy 3 touchdown game.
Mac Jones.
I bet Jamar Chase. Like I didn't have any faith in it, but my podcast co-host is huge Bengals fan, and he's like, "Dude, you got to bet Jamar Chase." And we bet it preseason. It was like 100-1. Like it was nuts. It was great cash. Like I'm not complaining, but as a Mac Jones lover, I was like, "There's no way he's winning. We should rip that ticket up." Yeah. And we ended up cashing it. It was pretty sweet.
Remember before his rookie year with Chase, it was like, oh, he couldn't catch the ball. He couldn't adjust to the balls in training camp. He's going to be a bust. And now he's anything but a bust.
Yeah. Speaking, I'm glad you brought up Odell. I just had it up. I think
he's like 580 or something for 4 yards.
DraftKings had him like 600 something. I checked this morning. I had it written down. I just want to make sure I had the right number.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I saw
575. Yeah, 575. Yeah. I'm going to check cameos because I definitely think I saw 600 at one point for one of these books, like a 6.5. But
and you like the under on him?
I don't necessarily have a side. I was just going to try to bring it up as like a talking point because 575 is so low. But what is the deal? Like, I don't even know.
It's just like it's so low, but then you also have Zay Flowers there. You also have Bateman in an offense that's not going to throw the ball for more than 200.
He might be washed too. He might just be washed.
And he could be
washed. Year.
I mean, he's had how many injuries? He's got to be 30 now. He might just be completely.
It's hard to come back after a year of no football. 2 years. Right. What was it, a year and a half of no football?
Right. Yeah. Well, he had a major injury before that. He got hurt when he was with the Browns, and he gets hurt in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He had the first touchdown in that Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I had him in a parlay to score. And I was so happy. I had him for the score and for like 30 plus yards, and he got there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't go over, but I think it's low enough to scare me off the under, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, there's some savvy lines for some of these guys. Like the rushing ones are the best. The receiving ones, I mean, they feel a bit bloated, but it's like we're not as quick to just be like under on a receiver the way that we are with it.
Yeah.
Most receivers, they're less likely to get hurt. I feel like because I mean, it's still football. You're gonna get hurt, but the running back, you're just getting the shit kicked out of you every carry, every snap, and you can get hurt any snap. Receivers, you're a little more protected, like going over the middle. You can't get hit too high. There's a little more protections on the receiver.
I have an over that I like. Mike Evans over. I think it's 850. Let me pull up the number. Over 850 and a half. Mike Evans has seen 1,000 yards in every single one of his seasons since 2014. And then the Buccaneers this year are going to be playing from behind even more. He's going to command a ton of targets, and he's going to have those video game numbers like every once in a while where his ADOT's just so massive. So over 850 total yards for Mike Evans.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, I don't worry about Kyle Trask. You're plugged in with the Bucs. Who do you think starts week 1?
Baker.
Yeah.
From what I've been hearing is like Trask has been struggling. Like it's been like grasping small things have been difficult for him, and Baker's showing signs of someone who can compete. Doesn't mean win. You know, they didn't say it was a sign of someone who can win, but all you need is a quarterback who can give you a chance. The defense is still going to be legit. So.
I don't know. I worry their defense is older. It's a bunch of vets. They won a Super Bowl. Now they got to go through a rebuild with it's like Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. But to me, they're in the same boat as the Rams, where they won their ring. They're older, and it's just like a fuck it year. I really like the under for Tampa.
I just think I think their defense is going to be solid because you think about everywhere where the Bucs, when they had a good defense that was weak, that was all younger, and now it's flip flop. So the linebacking core is older, but Devin White's still not that old. Then the defensive line is pretty young. Picking up new pieces, Vita Vea's in there, and then the secondary is probably the best secondary we've had in quite some time. And Carlton Davis is in like year 4.
Yeah, I just think
the team's not going to be good, and I think that's a lot to do with the offense. Like I don't think it's because of the defense.
I just think in general, when you go all in for these Super Bowls, like the Rams did and Tampa did, and like eventually you got to pay the piper with like draft picks and cap space. Like eventually that catches up to you. Eventually the bill comes. I kind of feel like we're at that spot here with both those teams.
And the only problem is I see them as like a 6-win team. Like I wish their total was like 6.5. You know, then I
6 works for me. It is 6.5.
Oh, I thought it was 4.5. I didn't know that.
Oh no, Tampa 6.5.
Oh yeah, I like the under there.
Yep, so do I. Anything else before we bounce? Who do you like in golf? Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, I have golf plays. The outright market's kind of sketchy. I would look for a bomb. Average winning odds in the 4 years of this tournament have been plus 125 to 1. So I end up putting 2 units on Ricky Fowler to finish inside the top 20. I have his player profile pulled up. Ricky Fowler, out of everyone in the field in the last 36 rounds, is number 1 in strokes gained total. Ricky Fowler has finished inside the top 20 in every single one of his tournaments since March 12th, except one, which is the PGA Championship where he missed the cut. Everyone knows how difficult that course was playing. And Ricky Fowler is a good mixture of bombing and making putts. This could turn into a birdie fest. Outrights right now, I just have Tony Finau, but I'm probably going to put a little bit on Ricky live. I think Ricky's a good play, but I just can't see myself betting on Ricky Fowler at 14 to 1. I think a fair price for him is closer to 18 to 20 to 1. So if you have a boost, you can play it on that. And then I like Carson Young. Carson Young, he's 150 to 1 long shot. He's not long, so it's like a bomber's profile course, but it's also a putting paradise. You want to be a good putter here. He's a great ball striker, which means he hits fairways and he hits greens and regulations, and he's a great putter. And he's thrived in birdie fests. The 3 birdie fests that he's played as a professional golfer, he's finished no worse than T15 with a T2 runner-up this season.
What do you got on Mark Hubbard? I know a lot of people like Mark Hubbard this week.
I like Mark Hubbard a lot, but Mark Hubbard's not a winner, and his price has gotten too beat to shit. So, excuse me, it's too beat down. Like the problem with like
what is the swearing policy? Because I've sworn a few times. Are we not allowed to swear?
I don't know. I just I have no idea. Oaks loves cursing.
I try not to be. I don't go overboard with it once in
a
while.
If
nobody, I think the problem with long shots is like 90% of these guys have no ability to win. So when you're getting them, they've been steamed down almost from 100 to 1 to 60 to 1. The value that the book had inside there is essentially gone.
Yeah.
But hey, Wyndham Clark with 95 to 1 a couple weeks ago. One of my buddies had Chaz Reavy 275 to 1 at Circa, and he was in it for a while. He was in it for a while.
Did he do the each way? Yeah, but if you think about Wyndham Clark versus like a Mark Hubbard, Wyndham Clark's proven winner.
Yeah.
Wyndham Clark's ball striking numbers have been absolutely phenomenal. Did your buddy do the each way? I wish my books had each ways. I'd probably play long shots more. It's tough for me to play a long shot.
What do you mean by the each way?
Each way, it's the market's like top 8, top 25, top 20, whatever.
I'm not sure. I think you just took a stab on him outright.
It's easy. Just click one little button and you get paid pretty nice. I don't have access to that, so like it sucks when I have a 150 to 1 and I only bet on top 40 market and to win outright, and I'm like sitting there holding breadcrumbs, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
My
closing
closing
statement
pick to get in.
Oh, what? Do we have one? I don't think we do.
Do we have a sleeper pick?
I didn't do sleeper.
Yeah, I was gonna say you asked closing thoughts before getting out of here. I just wanted to close on my thoughts with the frustration that me and Will were just talking about with good offenses, and that the Twins, as I'm waiting for this over, started walk, single walk at the inning, strike out, and they are combined 1 for 13 right now, combined with scoring position for these two teams. Not ideal.
They were not going to help you. This Twins offense is bad right now. They were not going to help your over.
Yeah, well, I thought the Braves would maybe help, but they're not doing much either.
They hit freaking 5 home runs last night.
I'm trying to find a sleeper play first. Senga's at 6.5. I know he strikes out a ton of guys, but to me, he's too inconsistent with the walks to expect him to get.
And also, you don't know how long he's going to go. Like, I mean, his outs are 16.5 for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like Keller. Keller's 5.5. What do we have here for Sears? You said you liked Sears, right?
Yeah, 5.5. I like it against the Yankees.
Also, what's his? I think 5.5 is what is given for Braxton Garrett as well. I know the Red Sox don't strike out much, but this guy has been striking out like 8 to 13 guys a game.
I think that's a good one. Allard, Keller, and Sears, all 6+ is 6x. fine with me for sleeper. And go to
Like
sleeper,
that.
check out everything they have to offer. Did any of you guys bet Howard? Howard has 7. I think he was like 14 to 1 to get to 7.
Yeah, he was 3.5 plus money at open. I didn't bet it only because when I woke up, it was like it moved like minus 140 or something like that. But last night it opened plus money.
He had no pitch. He'd only been going a couple innings. He'd been built back up, but I guess he got up to like whatever 75, 80 pitches today and got 7 Ks. The Twins strike out a ton, so it's not shocking. But man, that was a nice little cash. Jeez,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that Twins team is something else. I mean, Strider had that really rocky first start, and then that first inning, and then he just destroyed him after that.
He mowed him down. All right, boys. Thank you to Sleeper. Thank you to Pickett Sports. Brian, Josh, Brad. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, talking more baseball, more football. I think we're going to have some awards drafts. We're going to go through them and pick all the awards, make a little competition out of it, throw some money in. So appreciate you guys listening. We'll see you tomorrow.